everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in Gold Rush, a Wild West 4E adventure. Today is April 22nd, 2024, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you'd like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, you can again go to patreon.com/indooradventures. But let's say you already support us on Patreon. You already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all of those other wonderful places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go? Oh, I guess that's Patreon. No. Where can I go to help support these wonderful shows even more? Well, guess what, Acorns? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks. We even have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201, where all of the proceeds of our merch is currently going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is Indoor Adventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who you playing tonight?
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. Today I'm playing Kid. He goes by he, they, I go by he, him. He's a Genasi sword mage, and I'm unhinged.
Wow, I'm LBHackEmUp. I'm going to be playing Trisannas or Tris. She is a wild and seeker. We both go by she, her.
Oi, I'm Cyber. I use he or whatever pronouns. I'm playing Rakel. Rakel is a human shaman. She, her.
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I'm gonna be playing as Carruthers Edelweiss, also known as Ruth to his friends, uses he, him pronouns, and is a human ranger, and is down currently. He is not looking good. He is unconscious, passed out, damaged.
And he is not the only one. Gosh, I heckin' missed you guys. Hi everybody, I am Wings. I am the GM today. Let's get right into the recap, shall we? Because I have a feeling we're gonna need it. Yeah. So last time, the posse had just defeated Ms. Sissy and Deputy Lefty in the bank vault of the town of Glimmer. They discovered that people who had been petrified by Ms. Sissy's Medusa powers could only be restored to flesh by a powerful ritual caster, and resolved to travel west and find one. Trisannas found closure with the spirits of Ko Lin and Jedediah Snaps, seeing them to the other side and receiving a ghost camera from the deceased photographer. They explained to the people of Glimmer what had happened and promised to send help before buying horses and hitting the dusty trail. Outside of Glimmer, they were ambushed by a gang of outlaws called Dusty's Devils. Turns out our posse has made it onto wanted posters. What followed was a grueling fight with Earth and Air Genasi wielding war fans, plus one wayward thorn. Rakel and Ruth were both knocked unconscious, and Ruth was dragged up onto a bluff before Kid struck a powerful blow against Dusty himself and frightened him off. The devils likewise retreated, abandoning their hostage. And that leaves us with Ruth unconscious at the bottom of the bluff, with Kid and Triss both injured, I believe. Let me double check my roll 20 because the tokens
I'm literally bloodied.
never lie. Yeah, everybody got hurt quite bad in that fight. Due to a clerical error.
It was because we did not, in fact, have a cleric.
Ah. Oh, that's funny. I didn't put that one together. Yeah, everybody is downed or bloodied. That was a pretty rough go. But Ruth is actually stable and unconscious at the top of this bluff. I think that when coming back, we're actually going to come back from Ruth's perspective. Ruth, you're kind of fading in and out of consciousness. You hear the ending of the fight below, and the shouting of the outlaws as they make their hasty retreat. And for a moment you are alone in the blistering hot sun, and you can practically feel the vultures circling when you hear a strange sound that is half familiar and half odd. It is a sort of, but it's overlaid with a sort of jingling.
Zoom stopped it from coming
Ah,
through.
Is
of
like
course
clip
it
clop
would.
sound.
It's a clip clop, yeah. It's a very distinct horse beats, though each one is punctuated by a strange otherworldly jingling. Um, and you feel a shadow fall across your body. And the moment that you would expect to feel like hot horse's breath nuzzling, sniffing about your face never comes. And then you start hearing that sound grow distant.
Okay. I think he's just muttering to himself about Santar. I think that's what he's thinking of right now.
Ah, what a wonderful world we live in. All right, let's cut back to Triss, Kid, and Rakel.
Rakel is down currently. Would you stabilize her?
Rakel is down. I'm assuming that you move to stabilize.
Yes, yes. We do so.
Okay. How would you go about it? Who would take the lead on that one?
Wait.
Kid is currently rifle out leveled, scanning horizon for any stragglers, and if he does see any, he will pop shots at them.
Sure. I'm I'm sure you're able to see them retreating on the horizon. But in the heat of the day, there's like
Mirage.
yeah, like what's it called when like you've got like those heat uh
Mirage.
waves coming off? What?
Like the
A
mirage
mirage.
of the. It's like
Oh,
your
It's just
vision is a
called
little
heat
bit.
waves.
Yeah,
yeah, there's like heat waves coming up off of the sand, obscuring your vision, and
Mhm.
making it hard to get a good
It's
target on
still
them.
like seeing Mistress walk over to Rakel. He will leave her to do that while he's on guard.
I will use nature and gold to create
Health potion?
well, I was gonna say to do like a healing magic. I don't know how it actually works in this system as far as
You
like
know?
stabilization.
Let's see if they have something similar to a heal kit.
I might just like steal some energy from a nearby ghost of someone who died of exposure out here.
I'm
There I
not
go
too
again.
healing the dying. Right. Any amount of healing. I'm willing to let you take 10 on this one. You're not really under any stress. You can take as much time as you need to get Rakel back on her feet.
Mhm.
I'm mostly concerned about the narrative
Yeah. So she's
method.
gonna kneel down and sort of kind of take her hand and touch Raquel's like cheek, but also her neck, and sort of imbue a bit of her own magic. Her eyes glow a little bit as she takes from her knowledge of nature and natural things and try to you see like some little vining come from her hands and go onto Rakel's neck and down her shoulder a little bit as she heals her.
I like it.
So what do I do?
Stabilize. Back up with 1 hit point. How is
Welcome back,
Rakel
honey.
doing as she opens her eyes and sees
Just-
Trisannas above her?
Just while the vines are like sort of crawling down her, she just sort of instinctively reaches for them as if trying to like pull them off. And there is definitely like a worried and concerned expression on her face, like she's having a bad dream. And she sort of mumbles at first, and then it starts to come louder. Chief, Chief! And she opens her eyes and looks at you. Sort of reaches to where the vines were sort of growing on her and feels that they're not there anymore. And she just starts to break down. And she looks around. Is Ruth okay?
LB, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, got turned down a little bit. Sorry. She kind of, it's all right, sweetheart. Ruth is up on the hill. He's all right. We're okay. You're safe now.
So
Here, take some water, honey. She hands you a container.
she just sort of she takes it, and she's just trying to get it stuck on the situation, looking at everybody and just making sure that everybody's okay. Because
Yes.
she
Yeah.
is having a hard time believing it.
Kid is still tracking the horizon as he's moving over to the bottom of the cliff. I'd take some cover if I were you ladies, just in case they don't back around. I'm gonna try and get Ruthie off the cliff.
Of course, we'll move in a moment.
Eventually, Kid will bring Ruth down and dump water. Welcome back to Land of the Living. Now, Ruthie, you promised you wouldn't struggle while we gave you your bath.
No, it's not that.
Sploosh again.
Win again. Did we win?
Call it a stalemate.
It's not bad, not bad. He just starts like kind of like dusting his shoulders off a little bit, like he stands up. He's not very spry in his normal, but he just starts doing some light calisthenics, like passed out. Just how long was I out for? Do you know?
Couple of minutes at most.
And he turns to Kid with a very serious look in his eye. Did you see the big man? Was he there? All four-legged glory. I heard his clippy-claps and the jingles going on.
Miss Triss,
Yes.
do you have anything for contusions and head injuries? I think our dear Ruth has suffered one.
Perhaps, but I think we should get moving, don't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Miss,
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I think when you're like, can we check for head injuries? Ruth is sort of like pats himself down, does a quick check for blood. Nothing. There's like a tender spot where he got clocked. And just says, it's a 5-second rule. If you're not passed out for longer than 5 seconds, there's no chance of brain damage.
I'm pretty sure that is not how that works.
Y'all trust me, it's happened multiple times, and I am fine. Now, which way were we going again?
I think we should take a couple of minutes to recoup.
Yep,
That's my plea for a short rest.
Yeah, that being said, everybody feel free to take a short rest.
Yeah.
Go ahead and spend any healing surges you might need. And also refresh your encounter powers. And now might be a good time, considering that we haven't played for about a month, to just take a quick look over your character sheets and refamiliarize yourself with your abilities.
How does a surge work?
Good question. It is similar to a hit dice, but you don't roll anything. It is a flat value.
Okay.
They add to
and
your HP.
and I believe it's a fourth of your total HP.
And you can spend multiple surges during a short rest.
Yes. Yes, indeedy.
I botched that, I think. 1 second. 8.
I've used 5 of my 7 surges to put me back at 30 out of 35.
Holy moly.
Jeebus.
Just some light stretching. You're back in it.
I'll use 3 of mine
I'm
to
gonna
get
use
up
3
to
as well.
31.
Wait, it's what of your total?
A fourth.
Do they? Okay, when
So-
would they have gone up?
If you're
Whenever your healing, your health total would have increased, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So at the last level.
I have made a mistake.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Is your value and your maximum HP not matching up correctly, or?
Nope. Okay, and is bloodied half or a third?
Half.
Bloodied is half.
Okay. I should have fixed those.
Oh, I'm samesies. I just noticed some things. Yeehaw.
Uh-huh.
The thing about 4th edition is that number get big also mean have to do math.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes have to do reverse math.
Reverse math hard. Math hard.
All right. Any follow-up questions here during this short rest? Any conversations that occur?
I think Triss will say to Rakel, it seems like you might have touched, or at least brushed, the other side. Did you see anything?
Ew. Just, I guess. I guess just what I've been running away from.
Do you want to talk about it?
I mean, short of it is not too long ago. Back home, there was an attack. This thing, it He killed a lot of people.
I see.
Chief took a hit for me. Pretty bad one. They told me he didn't make it. Well, the couldn't stay around there anymore, so here I am. I'm just trying to get away from it all. And here I go, landing in the same exact situation.
I can understand that that is a difficult situation to be in, a guilt-filled life to be leading. I'm probably not the best person to talk to about that, but I am glad that you're here, and I'm glad that we can protect each other, because I trust that you would do the same for us if it needed being.
And we protect each other. Because we did a pretty piss poor job of it back there.
Well, none of us are dead. Not yet. I think we can learn. I think we can grow from that. Trees lose limbs. Plants lose leaves. They always grow back. As long as there's stability. As long as the trunk is all right. If you understand what I'm saying. Doesn't matter how damaged. Doesn't matter how hurt or broken. As long as there's love and, well, water and nutrients. There's always ways to come back.
The daughter of a vine speaker, and I've seen my fair share of trees get in the blight.
We're not quite there yet. We're a grown fledgling. We have a lot of flexibility, I think.
I think we have a little bit of luck, and at some point it's going to run out.
Well, what do you suggest? Are you ready to go home?
I still
you
have
wanna
something to
throw
do
in?
here. But I intend to do it. I just want us to be careful and not pretend that everything's going to be okay.
I think that's quite acceptable. Boys?
Yeah.
As Rakel says, that finishing bit, it zooms to where Kid is standing, pacing, just super anxious, keeping watch of everything.
Think it's time to move.
We all settled up?
For now.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
Y'all round up your horses. After this conversation about whether or not y'all are ready for or able to protect yourselves from danger, this might be a good time to bring up something that I just remembered, which is the fact that I added a couple of magic items to two of y'all's character sheets. That would be Trisannas with the serpent skin armor and Kid with the Skald's armor.
Yeah.
And the assumption there is that y'all will be using your gold to
swap out.
essentially to craft this armor. And I would like to play that out a little bit. What does it look like when you summon this into being? And like what does your armor look like?
Given the
me-
proximity of where Kid thinks they are, he will, as he's walking over to Trisannas and Rakel, extend a hand out, and his long leather duster starts to dematerialize in that golden dust, snaking its way up his body and over his arm to his hand, where it coalesces into a golden orb. He crunches it and pulls, and there is like the whipping of fabric as a darkened black duster appears, and he just swings that over his arms like a coat, like you know how you swing a coat over your shoulders.
Yeah. Very cool.
Tris, as she is standing up and helping Rakel to her feet, she kind of looks over and sees a snake that has been caught in the crossfire, is trampled by a horse close by. She's going to look at it, kind of cock her head to the side, and she kind of reaches down to it, and using gold, you see as the snake kind of dissipates from the tail and the tip of its head inward as it snakes up, the scales from it going into her jacket as she kind of dusts it off slightly and adjusts it, having the snakeskin appear on her outfit.
Very cool. I'll be excited to see the effects of these armors in the future. I've already deducted the gold that would cost from your character sheets, it seems. So we're Gucci there. All right. So I guess the next question is, what's your heading? Where are you headed? Do y'all know? It's been this is like you took 2 steps out of Glimmer and then somebody attacked you. So, I didn't really get to ask that question before.
Consult the Compass Rose to see which way we're supposed to be heading for the next deputy.
Look at the dang old magic wanted poster that y'all worked so hard to get.
Yeah.
That sounds great to me.
Wanted to probably do that tonight while we were resting, but now that we have an accelerated timeline.
All right. Who's got the poster? Who's gonna look at it?
I'll do it.
I think.
Oh well, if Trisannas has it, then
I have it in my inventory, I think.
okay.
Yep. I will look at it.
Okay. You have to exert your will over law in order to command this poster to show you what you need to see. So I would say either give me an Arcana roll, or a nature check.
Boy, one is a lot better than the other, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll nature. It's a 21.
That ain't half bad. You smell the smell of ink on parchment, undercut with that strong metallic scent of gold and law. And you hear the sound of papers flipping like in a flip book. And the picture of Ms. Sissy, which has now changed to reflect her Medusa status, slowly fades away. And what replaces it is the image of a chiseled, dimpled jaw, sort of like eyes squinting in the sunlight, wearing a coonskin hat, and a leather sort of jacket, sort of shirt situation. A real Daniel Boone type, but like with a barrel chest and just like, a real man's man, like looking kind of guy. And the name that appears is Six Spurs.
6 spurs.
6 spurs.
All we're missing
Yeah.
is the partridge in a pear tree.
I'm sorry,
Uh,
I'm unfamiliar with partridges in this land.
Don't worry
Pear
about it.
trees.
It's part of a song.
Right. Well, I think we should take a moment to move slowly and find our way to a nice safe spot where we can recoup and gather our thoughts on the way to move forward.
What's the closest town to here, GM?
Glimmer.
The town we just came from.
Aside from Glimmer.
I suppose happenstance, but that's farther east.
In the other direction.
Yep.
Well, we gotta keep heading west anyway.
Even if we don't find a town, before we go down for bed tonight, we'll at least make sure that the place that we're going to is defensive. That it has at least a little bit more protection, or maybe we do a better job of covering up where we're at. No fires after a certain point to attract smoke, that kind of thing.
I think that's a fine idea. Let's get a mosey. Mosey.
Mosey.
Ozzy.
All right. Yep, you click at your horses. Is the idea that you want to bed down somewhere tonight before arriving at your destination?
If we can't get a town, then it's not gonna hurt us. Like if it starts getting dark, to like either Oregon Trail, do you want to push on or do you want to make camp here? Like Ruth's vote is for making camp wherever it's safest. Like if they find like a very nice like opening in the forest or like a hillock or like somewhere where they could have like a defensive position, that would be Ruth's.
Could I roll a history check to see if there are any little hidey holes that my bandit fathers had out here?
I would love to see that. Yes.
14.
I also love that you call them a band of fathers.
They did. They raised a kid.
Okay. Well, first of all, there's a little bit more information on the wanted poster that would give you your heading and everything, and probably would be important to Kid specifically, because essentially as Triss is reading the wanted poster and gleaning what information from it she can, something catches your attention, and it's the words "last sighted in Serendipity."
Well, hold on, excuse me 1 second. Kid swings his, well, he's gonna trot his horse off several hundred feet away, and you just hear from the distance, ah! Trots back.
Did you break your toe kicking a helmet?
No, but I would like to use that pain as an inspiration to propel my performance in a movie. Sorry.
Alright, then what? Why are you screaming?
It looks like they were last sighted on my old stomping grounds, the town where I grew up.
So you're hollering because a bandit was last seen in a town that was known for having a bandit surplus?
Do you not want to go to that town?
I didn't think I'd be returning so quickly, but if we gotta, we gotta.
Is there like young
doesn't-
kids running around that you're trying to dodge, like that sort of thing?
I wish. I'll talk about it more at dinner tonight.
Okay.
I'd say a 14 is enough for you to find a hidey hole. Probably not a specific hidey hole from your past, but enough to be able to recognize the signs of one.
It's like the side of a cliff,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks like a torrent, like a defunct mine shaft, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And Kid skirts off to the side a little bit further from the mine shaft, and there's like a hidden door behind brush and debris. We should be safe in here for that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Sorry?
I'll take it. Yeah, it's better than nothing.
And there should be some beds, some dried goods. We won't be eating some trail rations tonight at the very least.
What is this place?
Welcome and bienvenue to the Lost Sons little hideaway out here.
Wayward Sons.
Wayward Sons. The Wayward Sons being the posse of people my fathers were a part of, the people who raised me.
I see.
They were known for a bit of wayward banditry.
Wonderful.
And I guess I should start talking about serendipity and why I'm so hesitant to get back there. Kid is already reaching up into like cupboards and stuff, bringing utensils and pans out from the cupboard and lighting a fire. He's going around like he literally knows where everything is in this place. So Serendipity, as you noted, Ruthie, has a bit of a bandit problem, but that's only because the sheriff has deigned it to be a necessity. A bit of a crooked cop uses the banditry or the bandits around town to intimidate the good town folk and keep them under the thumb. And when he doesn't have any more use for us, he begins to draw a thumb across his throat. But my folks, my dad's at least, got set up. A couple of months ago, they got called into a meeting. Ambush. Didn't stand a chance. The good folk in the bordello took it upon themselves to hide me away. It was a sort of scorched earth deal. They threatened to take it up with actual lawmen, bring the actual law to town, and it just didn't sit right. So my entire vengeance quest was actually revolving around getting enough money and power to take this sumbitch down, but it looks like I'm gonna have to head home prematurely.
So we're heading into a whole bunch of situations exactly like the one that we just barely scraped by through.
Maybe a little bit worse considering they know who I am.
And what's your plan if we make it past all this? Is this where you're planning on stopping?
I don't rightly know yet.
All right.
There ain't much left for me in Serendipity. Maybe I'll move on from the whole vengeance quest when everything's all said and done. Actually, I'd kind of like to see the Palisades. I've never seen the ocean.
Wait a second here. That's my quest line. I think Ruth will just say, do you know for a fact that it was the compass that did this?
Oh, no, the sheriff is not a part of the compass. I was hoping to use the compass to gain enough power to come back and take the place by storm.
I see. Okay.
Something that might be of interest. The wanted poster for 6 spurs, instead of listing his bounty as it normally would, has a series of question marks, which is out of the ordinary.
Yeah, we haven't had the wanted poster for long, but that's weird, right?
Y'all have seen other wanted posters, and they typically have however much gold they usually have on them.
Can I make a knowledge check to see if I can recall anything that would make
Yeah,
this
Arcana.
so?
Arcana
Yeah.
would be a good one to roll for that.
Theory is that this guy doesn't actually keep a lot of gold on him. Another 14.
That's not fantastic, but I can give you a few potentials. Like, you suspect that there might be some sort of ritual or law that you could invoke to hide your gold total?
Might be magically concealing it. Which is kind of concerning considering Miss Sissy, their gold total was in the hundreds. Thousands, right?
Thousands. It was 1040.
So this could be exponentially worse. You see, an exponent is...
What's everyone's passive perception? Just a query.
Evan.
A game query.
22.
18.
22. 18.
15.
Rakel, you notice something odd about the wanted poster now that y'all are talking about it. You've been warned about something by one of your nanas about the fine print, and it looks like there might be something along those lines here. I mean, it's really tiny writing at the bottom of the poster, and that's what fine print is, right?
If I take a closer look at it, if I get real close to the parchment, and try to sneak a little bit more of a look at the writing.
It says, appearance is an approximate age progression.
This is an approximate age progression.
Sorry, what was that?
Sorry, Maul Billy writes like this all the time. It says that it's an appearance approximation based off of age progression.
So this may not be what he actually looks like.
How old were the people in the rows?
It varied, right?
To those of you who see this on a regular basis, what approximate age would you say that this human is?
Can I use my passive insight?
Is he old or is he young looking?
he-
I don't know. All
I-
humans
like-
look the same.
Wow.
I mean, you look at as a human, he looks like 20s to 30s. Like you
He
read
he
his
looks like my
bio
age right now.
roughly, like maybe like give or take a few years. Um, like reading his bio, you see first of all, last seen in Serendipity, um, and he's described as the youngest member of the Roves, and also the hardest worker. Evidently, he worked as a courier for them during their heyday. And then as he got older, he
Moved up in
went on
rank.
to found the Parcel Concordant, which is the mail system of the Ramble that is
Are
no
we gonna
longer.
have to kill the male guy?
Mm.
I mean, I started banding with my family when I was 15, so that probably tracks.
Hmm. Well, uh, if he was a young buck when he joined, uh, if they had to approximate his age, he must have been much younger than this, right?
How
Um,
how long ago would that have been?
Since time immemorial. Ooh.
That's a good question. Have I told that to you, Simon? I feel like you're the one that I've
Yeah.
talked to the most about like
Give
time
us an
progression.
I think-
approximation of age.
I mean, since because like the Roves were like some of the first gold slingers, out here in the West.
Yeah, if we're gonna struggle to put an actual number to it,
It's like
I will speak outright on this. You guys do the math, and he was a literal child at the time.
Okay, but like, are we talking like Ariel the Little Mermaid? You were just a little child, or like
no, this is like a
this
little
dude was like
rascal committing war
4.
crimes kind of thing. Like he was,
Oh, some Ender's Game situation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
I
the Compass Roves would have been around like 30, 40 years ago,
yeah.
somewhere around in that
Yeah.
approximation.
And if this guy looks like he's in his 30s, he was like a literal toddler wielding a boomstick.
If he looks like in his 30s, then we're getting into negatives. But it might be a Paul Rudd situation.
It's true.
I think baby me just peed my pants. No, I think that was old person me.
Kid, you didn't know this individual when you were younger, right?
Searching the Rolodex of my mind. No, right?
You didn't know
Six
Spurs?
Spurs.
No, not at all. The Parcel Concordance had been long disbanded by the time the Wayward Sons were were active, essentially.
Well, given the time
In-
frame.
But I will say, you do know that the center of the Parcel Concordance was in Serendipity. In fact, you probably threw rocks through their windows.
For the most part, nah. By the time the Wayward Sons got there, the Parcel Concordance had all but disbanded. I remember throwing rocks at their windows when I was a kid.
Now, I have heard of that. Was there someone in there you were sweet on?
No, like, quite literally, we used to bust up windows because it was so dilapidated.
Oh, I see. My apologies.
I don't think... Is that like a ghost courtship thing? If I've been throwing windows at dilapidated buildings, doesn't mean I have to shack up with a ghost now?
Nah, it's just a little bit before your time.
Hmm.
Not a whole lot of ways you could get somebody's attention.
What about a
Right.
boombox right outside their window?
What?
A boombox, you know? Like a box full of guns and then you pull a ripcord and goes boom?
No, I thought Tris got the boombox.
No, that's a camera box.
it's a box that went boom.
True, you got me there. I think I set the bar too low.
You know what? That's on me.
In any case, if we are going to go to this town, I think we're going to need to discuss ways of combat and the best ways for us to achieve victory. Because though we did well in Harmony,
Glimmer?
Glimmer, that last fight did not go our way.
Given it was an ambush, I find it hard pressed for it to go our way.
We were ambushed in the vault as well, but there were just less people.
Yeah, they were.
You got shot.
I got shot several times in that entire that encounter. A snake came at me. I attacked it.
Yes, you did.
Yo,
If it helps, generally, posses tend to go off of titles. I believe I would be considered what one might call a striker, if I believe so. My whole deal with these weapons of mine is getting in real close and personal, doing a couple attacks, and maybe getting after I'm done.
Mm. Yes, I function best at a distance. If I can keep my enemies further away, it's better for me.
So in that situation, because I don't do well, I think last time I might have gotten a little ahead of myself and ran too far. So we would either need to structure things so that way y'all who do your long range things in the back can do their job, and either I, saddle up on around and pincer attack from the back,
Ruth,
or it's just
both of these last scuffles that we got into, it was very hard to make sure that you were all right. You were very, very far away from us both times.
I will try my best to stay close. The last one, okay, and to be fair, in Glimmer, I stumbled through a vent and landed up in the vault. That, I had no idea that's where I was going to be.
They got vents big enough that you can walk through?
Well, I'm a little guy.
Just a little guy.
Just a little guy.
It's my
Anyway.
birthday.
We can discuss tactics over breakfast tomorrow. I think you three should take some rest. I'll take first watch.
While you take first watch, I'm going to find us something to eat.
All right. Kid will sling his rifle over his shoulder, put a cigarette in his mouth, and just start clicking a lighter as he heads towards the front of the cave.
Oh, I was going to get something for us to eat.
And I'm on watch.
Take your time. Just gonna go find some rabbits or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, give
Brace
me
of
a nature
colors.
check.
Got it.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
21.
Give it to
Nice.
regular.
You get a couple of fat jackrabbits.
You
And the
got it.
difference between a rabbit and a jackrabbit is that a jackrabbit looks like horrible desert prophets who have seen shit.
Yeah.
But they didn't see you coming.
Yeah, and I'll make everybody a nice rabbity stew if I can.
Alrighty. Well, y'all have a nice rabbity stew. Kid, you're taking watch.
Yes. Chef.
Give me a perception check.
13. That's a lot better.
Is it? Your previous rolls were 14.
Well, given that my plus to perception is 1, I think 13 is pretty good.
It's reasonable. It's respectable.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Yeah, I
And for my history checks, those are at a plus 5. So
yeah, I might have poo-pooed on that too soon. Sure. Yeah. Okay. 13.
Squinting.
I forgot. Boys nearsighted. Um, you have a fairly uneventful watch. It's a bit cold, actually. Oddly enough. At night in the desert, it does tend to get pretty cold. It's that dry heat, you know. The earth is just giving up the last of the sun's warmth. Um, and you can hear all of the night's critters just going crazy out there.
Good. That means there's nothing dangerous out there.
Yep. Your watch goes uneventfully.
He'll stick around like another hour or two to give people more time to sleep. But then we'll, depending on who it is, shake them gently or kick their boot.
Sure. Who takes the second watch?
That's a boot kick to Ruth.
Yeah. Hey, baby.
Oh, it's your turn, old man.
Ruth will just start making himself a nice cup of coffee to help keep through the watch.
Bless.
Oh no. Nostalgic. In a cave. Someone's brewing coffee.
I made waffles.
No!
Not again.
Ah!
I am not this character. Not again.
Okay. Ruth, you make yourself a pot of coffee. And you go outside. Just a blanket of stars above. A blanket of sagebrush below. It's a beautiful, nice, chill night. Give me a perception check.
Could I offer to take this watch at disadvantage if I wanted to read? Because
What do you want
I have a
to read?
particular diary with me.
I see.
That I wanted to get into a little bit, and a watch seems like the perfect time to do that.
Oh my God, I haven't thought about her for 3 weeks. All right. Yes, I'm okay with that. Go ahead and take that disadvantage on your perception check.
I don't need to roll a second time. That's a nat 1.
Oh.
But can you get it again?
If I do, it cancels it out, right? No.
Well, odds are if you do it again, that means that you won't get it for the next one. Aww.
Yeah.
You get a you get really engrossed in this here book, I think. You find that it is actually a fairly detailed recording of the daily lives of the people in Glimmer. It seems it is written from the perspective of someone who cares deeply about the goings on of the normal, just sort of like run of the mill, unimportant interactions of people. And then every now and then it kind of takes like a sinister bend, like, you know, like this person's on to me, need to get rid of them, and then like, you know, they are
Then
removed.
moved on. Yeah.
Yeah, they moved on. The thing that comes up over and over and over again is the fact that she keeps letting people into the town because she is looking for a ritual caster that can undo her petrification, because it is something that she can't do and she desperately wants.
All right.
Any questions that I could probably shed some light on, or
RJ.
Are we the baddies?
I don't know.
It seems to me, listening to this diary, we might be the baddies.
Well, you know, in Demon Slayer, before they kill the bad guy, they do the huge reveal of what their motivations were, and sometimes they're not as sinister. They just made some bad choices.
cool motive, still murder.
Cool murder, nice motive. Yeah, I think Ruth just sort of like, I think he languishes a little bit on the writing style and just sort of has this moment to himself where he knows that given the situation, this is the end of this book. Like there are not going to be any more observations or anything like that from this writer.
Give me an insight check.
21.
Okay. What you're able to glean from this journal is that it is a thing of perfection. The lives that she has recorded in this book are her idea of what the perfect image of Glimmer would be. And the thing that strikes you about that is that she is not a part of it.
And I think there's a lot of respect from Ruth in that sense. There is not a commisery, there is a camaraderie. He understands that. I think he'll just sort of like tighten it up, finish his coffee, finish his watch, having completely ignored any sound or anything that would have been going on.
You get a little chilly in the middle of the night. And like you probably like, pull up a blanket or something like that, get cozy with your coffee and the book. But like you're not able to put together any reason why that would be anything for concern.
No.
Chili,
Well,
I thought we were having rabbit stew.
That
I would also like to say he might not even feel the chill because he is wearing that winter armor.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah, so
I
like,
forgot about that.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, this is fine. Like, my coffee is steaming a little bit more than it used to. It must be too hot.
You know what? Actually, that would be a good time to bring it up. You're wearing like this like sleek black mink, like it's stoat. And like probably when you put it on, you like converted it into something that's a little bit more your style.
Mm-hmm.
But as the frigid wind blows against you, the fur actually slowly turns from this sleek black into a white as it goes into winter mode and keeps you warm against that cold wind. And then by the time morning comes back around, it'll fade back into its original like summery black.
Sounds good.
Okay. Morning comes. No one is missing or injured or bewitched.
I don't know why you had
That
to
we know
specify
of.
that last part.
Any number of things could happen at night. Out in the ramble, are you kidding me? It's the most dangerous place to sleep.
Yeah, I think once it's early enough morning, Ruth will do another. He might even just like use some of the rabbits that like he didn't use last night. Just make some breakfast.
Mm-hmm. We're getting on that delicious and dungeon shit. All right.
Bruh, y'all haven't played with me. On Wednesday night, we have Captain Robert, who like is our chef. He is the literal dwarf of our group. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make some russet potatoes and I'm gonna make a smoked sausage out of it, and like goes into complete detail about it. When I'm sitting there like, I had dinner and I'm still fucking hungry from all this.
You guys have a
cut underneath
senshi?
the...
You have your own senshi.
We do, absolutely.
Then you put some salt and pepper to remove the gaminess from the rabbits.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, you stew them in the pot. And it's finished.
So what happens at the end of the long rest?
Okay. Y'all's healing surge total resets. Your action points reset to 1. And you refresh all of your powers, including your dailies.
Hey.
So full health, full healing surges, 1 action point, and then all your dailies are back.
Regened.
Which way, Serendipity?
Kid points.
Kid points at a tower of clouds.
like storm clouds or
Looks like it could be. They're really big and fluffy and tall.
Like my hair.
Mm-hmm.
How many days, hours do you think it would take to get there from here?
On a good day, you could get there by sunset.
We could get there by sunset if we hoof it, but looks like some storm clouds are gathering.
let's make it as far as we can.
Right.
And 1, 2, 3. Yep, yeah, you still have all your horses.
Kid will actually touch the bandana around his neck and just change the color to a darker one before pulling it over his face.
Are you trying to disguise yourself, or?
Yeah. Also, it's rough weather, that's why the bandanas are there, to keep the dust out of your mouth.
Sure. Okay. All right. Everybody mounts
Kid.
up and
Kid, while we're there, what should we refer to you as if you are a wanted individual?
Honestly, I didn't think I'd be coming back so soon, so I didn't really think of a game plan.
Technically, we're all wanted. Y'all just want to use. Well, I mean, if we use the names that we got called last time, I mean, that's still pretty close to what's on the wanted list.
We should probably think of some aliases then. Let's mull it over as we ride.
All right, then. Who was doubling up? Rakel was riding with somebody else?
Rakel's
Rakel's riding
riding
on Morbeck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Now I remember.
all right.
How uncommon is Kid for a name anyway?
Well, it depends on the age range of the person being called it.
Wow.
What?
Hey, speaking of names, you guys want to name your horses?
Yes. Do we each have our own individual horses? Yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
except for Raquel, who rides Morbeck.
Awesome. My horse's name is Hote. My horse's name is Hote, but I'd prefer if it was a donkey.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes,
That's
Donkey
allowed.
Hote. Let's go.
Donkey Hote. Beautiful.
I'm gonna name my horse Roach, as is my tradition for every cowboy game that I play.
You monster. Of course you do.
My horse's name is Chan. Because that's what I call all of my horses in my games, apparently.
Okay.
Shan.
Or Christopher.
Horse Chen in paradise.
I mean, he's named after just an attractive man.
It's not like I like you, Horse Chan, or anything.
So it's Hote, Roach, and Chan.
Yes.
Mm.
Oh, awesome. Love it. Love to see it. Awesome. Great. Okay. Any important conversations on the road, or?
All right.
I wish there was a resource that we can use that helps us find names commonly given to children. Some sort of site that we can get to.
I was going to say, you could just call me Carrie. It's not that far off from what my name is.
Well, isn't that the point? To not use that name?
Wait a second. Call me Dustin.
Ugh.
Or Dusty.
No, that was
That
the
was-
other guy.
Yeah, that was the name
Ah,
that tried to
shit.
kill you.
That's why it sounded so familiar. What? Scooter. That's my name. That'll be me. Scooter Greenlee.
I don't know why, but y'all could call me Zeph.
Zeph. Okay.
Zeph.
Zeph, like Jeff.
But you don't pronounce the G.
It's pronounced Zeph, actually.
My good friend Zephyr.
Hi, my name is Jim with a B, and I'm afraid of insects. Where's the bee? There's a bee?
There's a bee.
You can call me Birch.
Here's a good one.
Is Johanna too long?
No.
Johanna?
Love it.
Johanna J. Hannah.
You got it. That's
Reminds
what I
me
don't
of
say.
that reminds me of a song from a musical I saw way back when. It's a really sordid affair, actually, about a man falsely convicted of his crimes, gets sent to the Underdark, comes back and takes vengeance on the people that sent him there by turning them into meat pies.
I was thinking the same one. Is it Johanna? Just and a girl named Johanna?
I'll steal you, Johanna. I'll steal you.
Well,
That
it's my
sounds just awful.
well, Johanna is my mom's name, but
Oh.
no one stole her. If anything, Chief stole her partner from her.
Well, I apologize if I caused any offense.
None taken.
And Rakel, as you say that, you see a flurry of tumbleweeds blow past you. And you all are sort of roused from your conversation by the realization that you are now sort of surrounded by whipping foliage as the wind has really picked up.
Is this normal around these parts?
Oh, for like in your neck of the woods, in your knowledge?
Yeah.
Wings.
Yeah.
What's like how lush would you say the tumbleweeds are? Like on a scale from like light brown, like was doing pretty healthy, to like gray and brittle, like definitely like snapping off and wasn't doing very good. Uh how fresh were the tumbleweeds?
Like, are you trying to determine like
I'm
a like supernatural influence
I'm trying to
or
determine if Raquel thinks it might be a supernatural influence.
ah um well, give me a nature check. What'd you get?
29.
Oof. Beautiful. Perfectly mundane tumbleweeds. No sign of blight or necromancy of any sort. What concerns you about them is how swiftly they're moving, and how numerous they are. It seems like, I mean, tumbleweeds can get really out of hand, let's be honest. But I won't get into that right now. The fact that there are so many of them means that a lot of them have been torn up at once, which indicates to you that there is definitely a storm on the horizon, and a big one. And combined with that and the rapidly turning green color of the sky, you are able to determine that not only is there a large storm, it is moving towards you, and it is dangerous.
Oh, yeah, we ain't getting to serendipity today.
That's a fair assessment. Should we find a place to hunker down?
Yes.
Oh, right. The thing I was gonna tell Kid. Yeah, now that I think of it, the squall should be heading this way.
Oh, We gotta get out of here.
You got it.
What does it mean?
Kid will. Can he see the path of the storm heading towards them? Can we, School of Prometheus of running away from things? This
Run like perpendicular and say,
like fighting against the riptide, where
Yeah,
you
yeah,
run
yeah.
perpendicular to the shore, or you swim perpendicular to shore.
Sure. It sounds like though, we should probably
Skill
roll
challenge?
initiative into a skill challenge. Yeah.
Do we want to go on our break before we do that?
Oh, is it that time?
It is that
It
time.
is that time.
Oh, I got too excited about playing games again with my friends. Yes, let's go into a break on a skill challenge as we hear the horrible whipping winds of the squall, and then you all look up to see a dark wall miles wide of rapidly moving wind. Not not in a vertical direction, but in a horizontal direction, indicating spinning, indicating indeed a tornado moving in your direction.
Hate that.
Love that for us. We are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go to a place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see all of you all shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
It fucking windy.
It's so
It's
windy.
windy. The wind
Yeah,
is angry.
it real heckin' windy out here. Guys, let's roll initiative for a skill challenge. Hold on, let me bring up the turn order first. Oh, what does it look like? This, right. It's like a weird note list. It used to be a clock. And I can't get that out of my brain. All right. Y'all are on the bursts and blasts page, right?
Yep.
All right, click your token, hit initiative. Let's get in here.
That's the new D&D. We're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing Bursts and Blasts.
You're on the blast page, right? I turn! Burst!
Burst!
It's B&B, but with the emojis.
Oh, wow. Wowzers. Wowie zowie. Okay.
I'm Amanda. I'm 6.
You guys remember the rules to a skill challenge? We go in order.
Yeah, chef.
You roll a skill that's applicable to the situation. You can't roll the skill you rolled last round. You can't roll the skill that was in the last turn. Here is something that is going to be special about this skill challenge. If you roll the endurance skill and you succeed, it will be worth 2 successes.
Ooh.
I am tagging endurance in this skill challenge. This is a new thing that I haven't done before, and I'm doing it here. Also remember that you can spend an action point to re-roll. And you know what? If you happen to roll high enough that you are this is a new one also. If you happen to roll 10 higher than the DC, that will also count for 2 successes.
So if we roll 2 higher on an endurance, that'd be 3 successes?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I'll let that stack. I'm not afraid of you.
Or would that be 4 successes? All right, but the real question, though, is for this relaxing skill check, bay rum or sandalwood?
Sandalwood.
Always sandalwood.
Sandalwood. I have a question for you, friends. If you would direct your attention to the cog above your tokens. Did you see the bar appear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent.
The green bar will indicate how many successes you have had. And when it fills up, you will have a partial success on your hands, a partial victory in the skill challenge. You can keep on going and get a full victory for a better reward. The blue bar...
Treats and treasures?
For treats and treasures.
No, we don't have
the
an
blue
emoji for
bar
that.
will indicate what round we're in. All right. Are we ready to get into it?
Should we be seeing more than
Because-
one bar?
Huh?
Should
Not
we
yet.
be seeing? Okay.
Yeah, the green bar will reappear once you have a success.
Okay.
I'm not going to keep track of how many failures you have. The successes are the most important part.
You got
And you know
it.
what? I don't like to dwell on the failures. We celebrate our successes here.
I
All
do.
right, friends. At the top of the initiative, we have Trisannas as you all look up and see a whole big miles-long wall of tornado beginning to bear down on you.
Oh boy. Triss will use her knowledge of nature, surprising no one, to try and figure out the path of this thing and see
the
which
trajectory.
ways. Yes.
Yes. I'm down for this.
That is a 25.
That is indeed a success.
Hell yeah.
I will
Come here.
indicate that.
Come
You're
here.
able to quickly identify which direction the tornado is going. It's not coming directly towards you. It's
Mhm.
kind of a little bit at a diagonal, but definitely in the path that you need to go to get to Serendipity. But also, like, it is moving fast enough that even trying to get away from it is going to be a threat.
Okay.
So, yep.
Can I determine the best direction to go, to start?
Yes.
To head. Okay. I will
Yes.
Triss will see this, pull back on the reins, and say, follow me, this way. And take off in a gallop.
You're able to determine a path that will buy you some time. Love it. Okay. Ruth, it is your turn.
All right, so the donkey that he is riding, probably not as fast as the other horses. However, donkeys can run for an incredibly long time. So I would like to use my beast of burden towards an endurance check on this thing to try and outpace this tornado.
That works for me. Yeah. Hell yeah. Go for it.
23.
23, that is indeed a success, my friend.
I believe you need 2 successes.
Yeah, that being an endurance check, it's a double.
I
Love
would
to
use
see it.
nature, but that was
12 ounces. Huzzah.
Was stolen from you. That's fine. That's what this game is all about. All right, kid, your round 1 action.
May I use an insight check to pick apart the best way to get, eventually, avoiding rougher terrain just so that our horses aren't stumbling?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Do it.
Or inversely, I can use intimidate on the squall.
On the squall?
And then it just turns her way. What if I nat 20? That'd be funny.
You could use intimidate on the squall. I will tell you, the DC will be higher.
Thank you for giving me that sentence. That has brought me immense joy. I'm going to insight the squall. Or insight the terrain.
Okay.
11. No, I'll let it rock.
Okay. Yeah, I like that you put together that wouldn't be a success. But I especially like that you are trusting in your friends. Like, you guys have got 3 successes already. You're doing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Rakel.
I would like to try to perceive any potential shelter and or potential debris and direct us as best as I can.
I love to see it. Yes, go for it.
26.
26. Dang. Love to see these rolls over 20. Rakel, you are able to point out debris long before it becomes a threat.
Ow.
You begin you begin to realize that you have entered like the danger zone of the squall, and that a lot more dirt is getting kicked up, and it's actually pretty clear here that it's kind of a no man's land. It looks like this area has been blown over again and again and again. So honestly, like the debris that is being thrown at you has been tossed around like toys for what appears to be decades. Like everything is torn to shit. Like most of it is stuff that would be harder to like. Most of this would be like anything like organic would really be mulch by now. So like the stuff that's being tossed around is man-made things, things that got caught in it before, carriages and wheels and guns. Guns? At least one gun.
Fun fact, you won't get any splinters because everything's been sandblasted. But you still have to worry about the cart.
So that's another success. We're moving into round 2. Rakel, with that perception check, I think that you even pick up a strange sound that rises above the wind that sounds to everyone else like just, blowing wind. It's really loud as the tornado gets closer and closer. It is a strange keening sound, unmistakably like the sound of a horse's whinny. Trisannas, you're at the top of the initiative.
Yes, I am. I missed what the last person rolled.
It was a perception check.
A perception check. Okay. Triss will use her insight to, I think she's going to use her perception or her insight to determine what about this is this actually a natural thing? Is this a magical thing? Is it gonna turn and come for us, or is it that sort of thing? Is it hunting us? Is this Twister and this is out for revenge?
Do we hear
it cuts to the tornado and you hear it roar?
Yeah. Yes. Ooh,
29.
honey.
Jeez.
I think that's 10 above the DC. I think you broke it. That's a super success.
Yeah.
You guys are too good at this game.
Well,
you are now
big
into
numbers.
partial victory territory. You use your insight check to like you take a moment and like you stare down the dead lights of this tornado. And you see something inside, something that your brain struggles to comprehend. Something living and enormous, miles high. Something multi-legged. And at that moment, your horse rears and screams and begins to bolt in the direction of the tornado. Ruth, it's your turn.
So Triss's horse is bolting in the direction of the tornado?
Yes,
My
and
God.
as that happens, each one of your horses begins to struggle and try to move in that direction as well. It is a horse's instinct to follow other horses, right?
Into a tornado?
Look, you can
I do
train a
not have a
horse to
horse.
run into a spear. You can, like, horses will run into a tornado. That is totally real to me. I would like to use nature, if possible, to try and rally the horses. Maybe like do a loud hee-yah or a giddy up, but like pull in the direction of not the tornado.
Okay.
21.
21 is a success. Ruth, you call on your cowboy roots, and you spur this poor little donkey, in who Sure, I'll say seems resistant to the enchanting effect of the squall on these horses. You spur the donkey to advance on Trisannas's steed that has broken away from the rest of the herd, and you are able to sort of herd it back in the direction that it needs to be going. And with that, we have advanced into full victory status with this skill challenge. Um, you guys have to spur your horses on and on and on, and the wind just roars at your backs until your horses are panicked and foaming at the sides of their mouths, eyes just wide and lolling, until you eventually hear the winds begin to die down.
Is everybody all right?
What, is that normal around here?
Yeah, sorry, I lost
forg-
track of the timing.
You forgot to mention a several mile long tornado?
I didn't think it would be an issue because of the travel times.
Is it like an ocean? Like, is it like
It's just a thing that
wind-walled
happens
clock?
from time to time, Ruth. It's the ramble. Weirder shit has happened.
This is why we went south of Serendipity.
Is there anything else we should know?
Wings. The squall is news to RJ, by the way, for the players out there.
I filled you in.
Yeah, eventually.
Well, I had to remember that, like, yeah, the squall would have been a thing while you were around. You know, I haven't got the timeline completely ironed out. This is the first time I've run a campaign without a module. Give me a break.
9:58 p.m. It's a permanent storm outside of Serendipity. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Would Rakel recognize the type of creature that was inside
the storm? Oh. Either a nature or arcana check, I suppose.
Can I speak to the spirits to get a little bit extra on it?
Yes, you absolutely may. It'll give you a +5 to your check.
And
Spirits.
this is a nature.
Oh, and then what? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, 21.
Good thing you did that. Awesome. This is no creature you know of, natural or unnatural, which tells you that it is something entirely unique. It must be something that has no mythology. I'm trying to think of how to explain this.
It's a natural phenomenon in these parts, essentially.
It is unique to this area. You haven't heard of anything like this outside. When you speak with the spirits, they give you a feeling that it is incomplete. There is a sense of ennui coming from it. A feeling that you've worked for too hard and for too long, and that you just want to lay down and rest, but instead you run on and on and on.
Now, one of the words that was said was something multi-legged.
Yes.
How many?
4.
Okay.
Was it a rhinoceros? That's all I can think about is the
What
rhinoceros.
are we,
in
James
this-
and the Giant Peach?
That's all I can think about. It was so scary as a kid. Thunderstorm scared me for a long time after that movie.
That's fair.
You had James and the Giant Peach. I had Leprechaun.
See, when you said that there were multiple legs, I thought that there was going to be like 12 or 13, like some
Yeah, like a
very
spider or something.
No, not a
Yeah, but
You
spider.
say
I-
deadlights.
I
You said
wrote-
deadlights.
I wrote down the squall equals the multi-horse, and then a katamari of horses, because all of the horses were running back, and I thought that it was just going to be like a giant sphere made of horse.
I could have done a Sleipnir.
Well, I was thinking there were gonna be 6, one for each spur, and it would have
Oh, that'd
fit
be good.
a little bit closer to like Odin's horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sleipnir.
Yeah. Yeah, that's some cool theories. Love hearing them after I've made decisions.
None
Anyway.
of them are right. Moving on.
Well, aside from what we saw, the only weird thing about it is apparently the horses like to run at it.
Yes, that was quite odd. I've never seen Chan behave like that.
We just got Chan, so
Isn't he like 2 days old?
2
And
days,
in those
I've
2
never seen him.
days, he's been nothing but a proper gentleman.
Exactly. Christopher is the best of boys.
Please do not call him Christopher,
Why?
because that is my legal name.
Don't use my
That
I
is
named
my
him after
government
a K-pop
name.
guy, okay? I apologize.
Oh.
It's just Chan.
The squall is now behind you. Its winds whistling and perhaps whinnying in the distance. Kid, you are now in a familiar place.
Kid will take the party off the main road, finding some of the back roads into town.
Okay.
If the squall had just rolled through, that means people are still indoors.
Mm-hmm. As you move through the back roads, trying to enter town without bringing up too much notice, you find that to some degree you needn't have bothered. A lot of the buildings are actually empty now. You find a lot of boarded up windows, signs of a hasty retreat. Not entirely vacated, but certainly a lot emptier than you remember.
No, that ain't right. I've only been
What's
gone
the
for a few
matter?
months.
What's wrong?
A lot of these places are boarded up. Serendipity
Okay.
was a flourishing town, despite its
What?
leader.
Was it from the storm?
Nah. If it was from the storm, you'd at least see some lantern light in the window.
Interesting.
Does it look
Come
like?
on, we should head over to the Lotus Garden.
Walking through this place, does it look like it's been looted or that it's been left? I mean, column A, column B, but like which one came
yeah.
first, right? Like, was this like riots caused people to leave, or was it people
Right,
left
right.
and then just?
Yeah, I would say, give me like a perception or an insight.
Yeah. 27.
27. Yeah, sure. With Ruth's discerning eye, I think he can put together that the place was vacated and then, some light looting followed.
Okay. Something chase them out, you think?
Well, there could only be one reason to get chased out of town.
Is it the giant sentient tornado?
Actually, that's not the worst part of Serendipity. The tornado we can deal with, at least it's predictable. Come on.
He follows along.
Kid leads you down some back roads that eventually pops out onto what appears to be a main street of some sort. And he leads you directly to the right, and you find yourselves standing in front of a much more manicured, a much more maintained building. It's got your normal sort of storefront to it, um, and also trellised glass for the windows, which I've mentioned before is considered a luxury in these parts. And actually painted into the glass. So like if the like trellises are like, iron, um, the glass itself has these little squares, more like diamonds actually, and each one of them has been stained to form the image of a white flower, a lotus, if you're familiar, and also painted above it is written the words "The Lotus Garden." The interior seems dark.
There are some stables around the side. We can park the horses up out of the way.
All right. Do you know the proprietor to this place? Should we keep you in the back?
They're a friend.
All
Oh.
right.
This is the brothel.
Bordello, but yes.
Bordello, that's the word. Yeah, knew it started with a B.
Let me take a peek inside and see what's what.
I'll stow the horses. I'll lead the 3 horses off if you want to enter into this spooky ass building.
All right.
You poke your head in, and what is usually a cozy, bustling place full of people is a sparsely populated, still comparatively cozy, sort of dimly lit bordello. You hear the familiar tinkling of a piano, though somehow less bright, not full. As a piano player yourself, you put together that it's being played only with one hand. And you sort of like poke your head in. You've got that bandana up over your face. You lock eyes with the bartender, who just sort of like looks up at you and gives a double take. A sort of tall, slim woman with feathers poking out from under her mop of, we'll say blonde hair.
Hands just raised, like finger to the mouth.
As I live and breathe, if it ain't Mr. Head in the Clouds himself.
Not so loud, Trina. Come on.
What are you doing here?
Things happened. I have some friends that I need to stow away for the
That
night.
piano sort of stops with a like a little
Boom.
"Durr." Yeah. And a shadow rises in the back of the room. Probably a good 7 feet when he gets up to his full height.
Yeah. Kid spins and turns to that giant figure and marches up to them, like prepared to bump chests.
He sort of like leans away from you a little bit, and like he tries to give you a tough look, but like there's a little like hiss of just sort of like camaraderie from him, as though he's sort of like holding back a laugh.
Oh,
But he kind of like pushes you away a little bit, and you notice him nursing his left arm, which appears to be in a sling.
what happened while I was away?
Nothing good, kid.
How the girls, Madam Black, they said they all right?
They're all right. This happened outside the bordello. Well, I stepped outside of their protection.
To Triss and Rakel, there is like that little like burst of electricity around Kid's ears that is a very indicator that he's getting pissed.
I imagine that you guys can like filter in behind him, as you can hear what appears to be friendly conversation. Trina steps out from behind the bar and sort of regards all of you. She looks you up and down. She's got I'll say like light brown eyes, like really, really light brown eyes. And you see like a pair of like little wings like pop out where her ears should be, and they kind of like flutter a little bit. As she is a bit surprised to see more people traveling with Kid. Who are your friends?
Well, this is Miss Birch and Miss Johanna. You'll never guess what we did.
Like you get like raised eyebrows from both of them.
Is it safe to talk here?
It's always safe to talk here. Here, everyone, have a seat.
Kid will like reach out a hand to Triss, asking for the bounty poster.
She kind of reaches in her bag, is confused as to the situation. We were told that this is not a safe place, and hands the map over, or the
No, they just said that this place is safe.
Yes.
We got one more outside, Mr. Dusty. That's what you want to go with?
Oh yeah, call me Dusty Trails.
That's
Thought
like
we were
there's a-
going with Scooter.
You said Mr. Dusty, right?
Yeah.
There's a screech of like one of the chairs moving, and
No,
you
no,
see
no, wait.
Bruno and Trina like stare at you.
No, not that Dust Bunny guy.
Ruth like opens the doors, and there's just like a tiny little man.
They like jump a little bit, and then like seeing you like relax, like, oh geez, okay.
Everything all right, Zeph?
Yeah. Sorry, we've been
Well.
using aliases, because you know how it is.
I could have sworn his name was Scooter.
I could have sworn his name was Scooter too,
I'm
but
pretty
I looked
sure it
over and I
was.
saw Dusty.
I wrote down the wrong notes, but I think this makes it funnier.
I think so too. I'm all for this.
Zeph, who are your friends?
Sorry, apologies. This lovely lady here, wearing the bartender outfit, is Miss Trina. She runs a very tight ship at the bar here at the Bordello, and the gentleman over in the corner nursing the hand wound is Mr. Bruno. He's quite the talented piano player.
Sorry, the way healing magic works in this system, is his hand something that I could help with, or is that a specific power?
I'd
that
say
we need to
so.
have?
Yeah, I think you could
Okay.
heal. Yeah, I think you could help him out.
Okay. Triss is going to walk over to this tall man and like gingerly place her hand out.
He's a lizard folk, by the way.
Yeah,
Love
he's got
it.
like
Love to see it.
he's got like monitor lizard sort of look about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Bit of Komodo dragon in there.
Yeah. Like a lot of his height is actually lessened by the fact that he kind of like slumps a little.
Yes. She reaches a hand out and says, I have a bit of healing magic if you'd be interested in expediting the process.
He gives you kind of a shifty eye, but then he like looks over at Kid and then trepidatiously offers his hand to you. And he says, careful. I play the piano.
I'll be quite gentle. And she's gonna run her hand over the back of his and sort of up to his wrist and put some gold in him.
Cool. Love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Is heal a check in this game? What is our
There is a
equivalent
heal
to
check.
medicine?
There is a heal check.
Roll that. But I would like you to use your highest stat on it.
Mm-hmm.
Use your spell casting modifier, as it were.
All right. If that's a nature check, that's a 25.
Love to see it. All right.
So as the gold sort of moves over him and her eyes glow with that same gold, you see that the cracks or the damage to his hand is sort of healed up with the same black that she has in her cracks. And it glows gold, then turns black, then heals to a normal state of what his skin was.
All right. He has sort of an unreadable reptilian face. He kind of looks down at his hand. You see him like roll his fingers a little bit and examine your work. And then there's this sort of like slick of his third eyelid, and his eyes are suddenly looking at you. And he says, "So, are you outlaws or lawmen?"
Right now, I'm a friend.
From the corner, kid just tilts his head. You know, if y'all get married, you could be in-laws, right? It's a joke. I'm joking. Don't read into it.
Just like a flat look on his face.
Both of them.
Yeah, just like blinks again. It's good to have you back, kid.
Yeah. Where is Madam Black?
She's in the back room, checking on the others. We haven't seen a lot of work lately.
Yeah. What's going on outside? It's literally a ghost town out there.
Things got bad, kid, real bad. Everybody's been trying to bug out in between squalls. I haven't seen an exodus this big since the Concordant went down.
I got some good news I'd wish to share with everyone.
When's the wedding?
In the spring. You know how I am. I like the spring colors.
She sort of like flickers her head wings sarcastically, looks at the rest of them.
It's a lot it's a lot bigger than a wedding, actually. Trina, we did it.
You found it?
Not it, but part of it. We were in Glimmer. And you'll slide the bounty note across the table.
I'm having a lot of trouble keeping up. Do we have to keep using pronouns without the actual words?
It's more for dramatic effect, but we killed Miss Sissy and got her gold.
Wait, like Compass Rove's Miss Sissy?
Yeah.
Oh. So that's the reason why I've been seeing your face on wanted posters?
Yeah, not for public indecency.
Have you seen our faces on those posters as well?
Is there a wanted board with our photos on them?
Yeah, I'd say that there would be one, but I don't think Madam Black would allow it to be inside the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of not her style.
We're going after Six Spurs next. And last he was sighted, it was here.
But yeah, good luck. You're not going to find him. He disappeared when the Concordant went down. Everyone thinks he's dead.
Yeah, but if he's dead, then why is the bounty still up?
Reckon it's got to be out there somewhere, right?
I'm gonna ask Madam Black if we could hunker down here for the time being. The squall's rolling through pretty hard.
Well, you know you're always welcome here, kid. In the meantime, can I get any of y'all something to drink? It's on the house for friends of kid.
Clean water is all I require.
clean water's fine. I was looking up if sarsaparilla was something he would have had access to, and it's not. It came way later.
You can have actual Coke.
Ooh, I got some of that myself.
Sir.
Oh, with the cocaine in?
With the opioids?
Y'all are drinking
The
it? It's so
cocaine?
dry.
I guess the equivalent
Serendipity's
would
a
have.
dry county.
I feel
Boo.
like anything like the equivalent here would have to have like gold dust in it, right?
Is it just Jägermeister? Is that what we're gonna drink right now?
I don't know. You tell me. We're
Instead
in
of
fantasy
whiskey-
land, baby. You want sarsaparilla? We can make up fantasy sarsaparilla.
I was gonna say, instead
Yeah.
of whiskey, the Serendipity exports tequila.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah, if it's there, a sarsaparilla for Ruth. It's good for arthritis and joint pain.
Excellent.
Connor!
What?
Connor! Cyberwolf 1201!
The cinnamon
What did I-
challenge, but with the white stuff.
What? Oh, I see. You know, powdered sugar.
Cake
We do not
dog.
condone any drug use on this channel. That is illegal.
I'm gonna go talk to my mother figure now, excuse me.
Trina gets to work serving you guys up drinks. And she appears to take the opportunity to show off a few of her bar tricks. Juggling and pouring in a flamboyant manner.
Notably, Kid leaves his jacket and all his weapons at the bar.
Are we
reckon.
to stay here?
Yeah, please. I know that the hospitality is also extended to y'all, so make yourselves at home for the time being.
Of course, I would like to see the full skills of our friend Mr. Bruno.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah, Bruno just sort of like glares at you. He slinks over to his piano and then just starts playing like a jaunty ragtime.
They're just like both blank faced, just
Yeah,
like
just
yes.
like so serious.
I
Mhm.
enjoy this. I too enjoy this.
He looks like he hates everything, but it appears to be that that's just what his face looks like.
I too hate everything. Let's go.
I think that with your like, you know, insight of nature, like it's very clear that this is a very happy lizardman.
All he needs is like a sun lamp and he'll be right as
Mhm.
rain.
Be red as rain. Okay. Kid, you're heading upstairs to go and see Madam Black.
Yeah, chef.
Okay. You start heading up the stairs, and I think that as you walk by, like more and more faces begin to poke out from their rooms, and there's sort of like an excited whispering as all of the girls in the bordello realize that you're here.
Just from upstairs, you go, oh, hey, Anna Maria. Hey, Dottie. Pepper, how's it going? I'm
Yeah,
back.
and
Hi.
like they start coming out and swarming you, they're pinching
wait.
cheeks and poking you.
I gotta talk to the madam real quick, and then you can have your way with me.
And then they're all like, "Aw," and then they like, you know, disperse.
Ugh.
You get to the end of the hall and there is a dramatic stair there. Yeah, it's just like 2 or 3 steps, but like, you know, of course Madam Black has to be in
It's
an
like-
elevated position.
It's like the floor of the second level's wood, but then there are these marble steps that lead up, like just half a level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll proceed on up.
Okay. Is this a knocking situation or
It
is
is
there kind of
a-
like an open door policy?
It is he has his hat pressed to his chest and he knocks to be polite.
Sure. It's assumed that you're allowed to come in. You push the door open. and you find an even dimmer lit room. There is a ghostly light filtering in through the curtains of the window. A nicely furnished office space, it appears, and standing, not sitting, in front of the vanity, with her back to you, a woman bedecked in a full black veil, as though in mourning. She is looking into the mirror with her hands clasped in front of her, and she says, "So you've returned to us, child."
You could call it a bit of serendipity that I'm here, ma'am.
Puns. Seems you're in good spirits.
I
Here
am
for that
home.
vengeance of yours.
Well, for the most part, I am home. Um,
Well, know that
then,
you are always welcome here.
thank you, ma'am. I
However, you will not be taking that violence into my home.
Oh,
Are we clear?
I would never disrespect your home, ma'am. Um,
Very well.
heard the news about what's going on. I've got business elsewhere, but I would like to help if I can. I don't know if I can.
Hmm. Perhaps. It's Sheriff Hall, of course. After you left, the Wayward Sons were quickly replaced with a new outlaw group. A Mr. Dostoyevsky Bull and his devils.
Is that his name? I've met him on the road.
I see. He's quite the personality.
They did some great damage to us while we were heading on over. Was hoping that we can take refuge here at the Lotus Garden for the time being. We're currently hunting. My group took down Miss Sissy, and next we're off to find Six Spurs.
Hmm. I believe you have quite the challenge ahead of you.
Given from what Trina has said, yeah, he's more or less vanished off the face of the map, but hey, we've worked with more impossible odds, right?
No, not really.
That's fair. But yeah, that's all I wish to report while I'm here.
I see. Well, you want to help here. I suppose you can keep your head down, try to stay out of trouble. I know that the girls here would be distracted if they heard that you'd been harmed.
I'll be the picture of discreet while I'm here.
Very good. Let's cut back to the main room of the Lotus Garden. You all have been served drinks. And Trina, she's kind of like she's a little bit older than Kid. She's got kind of she's got one of those faces that like has like the smile lines on the side. She kind of has like aunt vibes to her, you know what I'm saying? Um, and she's just full on telling embarrassing stories about when Kid was young.
Ruth
There
is
is one
loving
where
every minute of it.
He fell out of like the church belfry doing some stupid shit.
So, Miss Trina, if you don't mind me prying, you seem to know a lot about Kid. Is that that be a fair assessment?
Practically raised him. Wayward sons were always dropping him off over here when they had to go do unsavory business.
And what do you think Kid would do once he does his duty of hunting down the roves to come back and apparently kill Sheriff here? Is that what? Am I reading into what he has described so far?
Is that what you think he's up to?
He is a man of mystery.
Man of mystery, but once you get down to it, he's really very simple. He cares about the people close to him, and he wants to make sure that they're well taken care of.
Sentiment I can understand completely. How long has it been like this?
This?
Yeah, the town. A kid
Oh,
said
it's
he'd
been a-
only come a couple of months ago.
Well, it's been a slow decline ever since the parcel ponies disbanded. She like looks really wistful and sad and just kind of looks out the window. You notice that there's a tattoo on her forearm of the parcel concordant logo. There seems to be some history there. And then it's been a sharp decline ever since the Wayward Sons got taken out. Sheriff Hall has been losing his damn mind over something.
When you say losing his mind, do you mean he's acting out of character or he is literally decaying into madness?
Well, let's just say the mask has slipped. Before I don't know, he had some theater about it. He at least pretended like he cared about protecting the people in this town. But now he's just gone into full-on slave driver, always sending his deputy down here to collect taxes. Speak of the devil. She kind of like looks out the window and she like points out some figures moving from beyond the frosted and stained glass. She like quickly runs over to a castle that could be misconstrued as like a like something to control the curtains, and she pulls it, and you guys hear the muffled sound of a bell ringing somewhere further in the building. And Kid, Madam Black, like moves her head sharply to the side as a bell rings on the wall. And she like looks at you, and you know that it's time to get into the cellar.
Madam Black sees Kid reach his hand out and snap his fingers, and the rifle is suddenly in his hands. I'm going to use my action to call my bonded weapon to me as we head towards the cellar.
Okay. The two of you sort of like rush shoulder to shoulder. And the girls are also bustling about. As you know, it appears that this is a drill that you all have run before. She takes you down the hall, down a few stairs, and then over to a large like door in the floor that will lead down to the cellar. And as you lift it, she sort of regards the gun in your hand and she says, "You know that'll be of no use to you here."
It's more like a security blanket, if anything, ma'am.
Whatever brings you comfort. And then she like gestures for you to go down the cellar.
Swoop.
And there he goes.
We follow, right? We should all go.
We're in a different room than where they're going to the
Oh,
cellar.
I see, I
don't
see.
even know this
Yeah,
is what
y'all-
we have been told is happening.
Yeah.
should we not be in the main room?
Is this squall happening again?
Trina just sort of like looks back at you guys and says, just keep your heads down and don't mention Kid.
All right.
She hunches down, being the most like obvious of the three, and just kind of sits behind next to the piano.
The door behind you swings open, and you hear the ostentatious sound of heavy boots, and intricate spurs, as a number of folks traipse into the room, sort of thumbs in their belts, looking around as though they've never been here before. And oh, yes, of course, we're moving over towards the bar. Um, One of them in particular sort of bellies up to the bar, sort of tall, slender half elf with it appears like he's trying to grow in facial hair, but like the elf genes aren't really cooperating with him, and so it's just coming in kind of patchy and scruffy. Um and he'll like clear his throat and um just sort of like knock on the bar, and Trina says, if you want a drink, you can order something. And he just sort of like glares at her, and he goes, whiskey. Neat. And meanwhile, he's got a few similarly dressed ruffians, just sort of like meandering pretty close to him. You can see that they each have a golden lasso coiled at their belts. And they're all wearing these pristine, sort of canvas colored, mostly white hats. And he has a very, how should I say, proudly displayed deputy badge glinting on his breast. She brings him his glass of whiskey. There's no fanfare about it. She just pours it for him, slides it forward. And he looks into the glass, sort of smiles a little bit, and says, so it's tax season again. Um, and Trina gives him a sour look. It was already tax season at the beginning of the month. You received your payment. And he sort of like leans back. Well, you see, we don't get a lot of tourists in town nowadays, and times are hard. We just want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. And you can see that there's a Trina isn't happy about this situation. Not at all.
This doesn't seem like a situation we should interject in, correct?
No, not.
Mhm.
Well, she told you to keep your heads down, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kid, I'm gonna say that there's probably like a intercom system in here, like the open pipes and such. I'll say that you can hear this conversation from where you are crouched in the cellar.
God. So the funny thing would be that because Kid has grown up here, he counts the steps to where like the bar is and stands exactly underneath where this deputy is and just points his gun upward and fires. But God, that'd
That
be
would
so
be the
funny.
funny thing to do, wouldn't it?
No, he's tucking in. He is not disrespecting the house.
Okay. Um, Trina and this Deputy Allen. Let me look at my notes real quick.
Eden, Deputy
Aiden.
Hawthorne.
Oh, Hawthorne. Where did I get Talon from?
Talon would be the sheriff, Talon Hall.
Talon Hall. That's it. Yep. Aiden Hawthorne. Okay. So Hawthorne seems to be trying to negotiate with Trina, who keeps on deferring that she's not the person to be talking to. Until finally Madam Black makes an appearance, and says something along the lines of, "Is there some sort of problem here?" And then she just sort of like glances at the three of you sitting at the bar. And you notice this sort of strangely dressed matron in head to toe, full black veil completely obscuring her face. Her gaze seems to rest on Rakel for a little bit longer than the rest of you. And then she turns to regard Hawthorne. Assuming none of you make a move to interject in this situation, they will have a conversation in which she negotiates some sort of payment, not as much as they normally get, but enough to make him leave.
How much is that?
I'd say probably 20 gold.
Okay. After they leave, if they leave, Ruth will give 20 gold to the matron to cover the loss.
Sure. Aiden Hawthorne will eventually slink away with his ill-gotten prize, and his ruffians will also follow him. But you notice that they're all kind of eyeing you up as they do, either memorizing your faces or trying to determine if you're going to be a threat.
No threat here, just a tired old man drinking my sarsaparilla because my bones hurt.
Okay. The lawmen clear out. And Trina will go over to the bell and ring it again to indicate an all clear. Ruth, you approach the matron and how do you offer this gold to her?
He says, I would like to make a donation, as it were, for helping keep an eye on Zeph, and he winks at her, while he was growing up. And
she makes no move to take your payment or your donation. And she sort of like raises her head just a little bit in sort of a haughty gesture. And she says, "Sir, while this is a sanctuary of some sort, it is also a place of business. I'm afraid we do not accept charity."
then how much for an evening of your time?
That's my mother.
Give me a persuasion check or something.
I guess Ruth is not Dusty. He's daddy now.
He's got that old man riz.
Well,
I'm
let's
sorry,
see.
Connor. You look distressed.
That would be a
Foxy
diplomacy in this. Either diplomacy or streetwise are the skills I'd be looking for.
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think you're right.
Foxy grandpa, but on the brim of the miner's hat.
Oh, how are we right now, guys? Are we X's or O's?
I'm good.
We good?
So
Okay.
it would be a 9. Can I use, what is it, an action point to re-roll?
Okay.
Would you consider this a challenge? Would we get another action point?
That was worse.
you you see her sort of regard you, like there's like you can't see past the veil of her face. um she 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 is giving you nothing right now. um and she says, I'm afraid my working days are behind me.
I wasn't asking for that. I was just asking for a moment of your time.
Well, I would say that I'm a busy woman, but you can see clearly that that is not the case. So, out of politeness, I am willing to give you some of my time. Wasting no time. Alrighty.
When Ruth and Madam Black walk off, Kid is holding a barrel of just liquor over his shoulder so he can help refill the bar. What I miss?
Oh, Ruth wasn't meaning like right now kind of thing. Like towards the end of
Yeah.
the evening if we're staying here. Like he's not like it's more just like he would appreciate some companionship of somebody who is also in his age bracket.
Yeah, I think honestly, funnily enough, this interaction ends, and she turns her back on him, and moves towards Rakel, actually.
Uh-uh.
In order to save a bit of time, do you know where Six Bars is?
I'm
Or
afraid
Sheriff
not,
Hall?
dear. I'm sorry?
Or Sheriff Hall?
Sheriff Hall. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying like Gerval, and I was all like, who's that?
It's Cheval!
It's
I'm
Gerval!
Sherval.
I done forgot his name.
Sheriff Hall has been a bit unstable lately, so his exact whereabouts cannot be counted on. But if you are intent on making an enemy of him, perhaps you would want an ally in that endeavor.
I don't intend anything here, but I think he already has an enemy in my dear friend.
Very well. Child, you may want to speak to Trina on that matter. But in the meantime, she sort of like whenever she like moves, her back is like broomstick straight. Like any movement that she does is mostly just kind of her head tipping forward or backward, like very like gently. She leans in a little bit towards Rakel. I believe you are new.
Yes.
Do you feel safe, cared
No.
for?
I mean, in general, no.
Well, I assure you that my home is safe for anyone seeking sanctuary, and you are welcome to stay here for as long as you wish.
Let me get an insight.
Yeah. For sure.
23.
23. You're getting vibes that she knows exactly where you're from. And what more, there is almost an electric prickle in the air, as though the place that you are in, the building that you are in, is her domain. And in her domain, her word is law.
Thanks for the hospitality.
It is freely given. And she'll stand up again. And she'll meander back over towards Ruth. She did promise him some company. Kid, you have been sent over towards Trina.
Puts a barrel down underneath the God, I'm blanking on what they're called. Dispensers.
Mm-hmm.
So, anybody want to meet the girls?
Friends of yours?
More or less, yeah.
No, a little bit more information.
Think of them like doting older sisters.
Oh, but they're not.
Not
doting older
actually.
sisters. So what are they?
Kid will look over to Rakel. They're working girls. They accompany people in the night and perform services. Prostitutes. These words don't mean anything to you. All right. 3 like shot glasses get put in front of Kid. He starts pouring tequila for himself. Prostitution is the oldest profession.
No.
X.
X. No.
And we get a
No,
fade
no.
to black on
He
that.
will explain what the girls are to Rakel as straightforward as possible.
As soon as you do not say a euphemism for it, she completely understands it and just goes with it.
Oh, that. Of course.
On myself, be direct.
Trina lets this conversation sort of come to an end. And then she like leans on her elbows towards Kid. So, Madam Black sent you over here for some information.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you going after Sheriff Hall?
If he gets in my way. I don't rightly know if I can take him in a fight, but hell, I never knew anyone that got up after getting shot.
She sort of nods a little bit. Well, if that's the case, then I might have a proposition for you.
Insight check. Is Kid going to like this proposition?
Let's see. Sure, yeah, go for it.
16.
You might not. Trina has suggested some crazy things in the past, but hey, she also picks up a lot of information, just from her occupation.
All right, Trina. What you got for me?
One of the wings, sort of perched over her ears, leans forward in the way that, and like sort of covers her mouth conspiratorially. She does this frequently when sharing secrets. You see, I got this old friend. Sheriff Hall has made a lot of enemies in the past, and he's one of them. If you're going after Sheriff Hall, you might want to go and talk to him.
As Miss Rakel had said earlier, let's stop with the pronouns.
We call him Sparky.
History?
I guess. Yeah, you can.
Is this like just some old like Carruthers type situation where he's like off in his cabs where yeah, I'm Sparky.
Yeah, I'm Sparky.
I don't like this
22.
guy.
They're just exactly the same. They're like a palette swap.
It's
and they're like
Ruth in
pointing at each other.
stereo. Oh, instead of red and blue, it's blue and red.
They have the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
dance animation.
Shadow the Hedgehog palette swap too.
I believe you're the fake.
Faker?
I've got you now, Faker.
Yeah, chaos control.
Chaos Blast!
You're not even good enough to be with me. Oh,
You're
dear
a third-rate
Lord.
duelist with a second-rate deck. We can keep going, but
Oh,
22.
God, 22. What is this, a history check?
It's a history check to remember if Kid knows anyone by the name of Sparky.
Okay. You have a memory of a regular that used to come by frequently. Your memory of this guy is not like a great one. He was mostly kind of sad and drunk for a lot of it. He never really visited the girls. He just kind of showed up to drink or
drink.
hide from the police.
You mean that, like, vagabond-looking fella who used to come in here and muck up the place with his sad?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, he's got a good reason for it. And he used to be one of the best. I mean, she sort of like points at the logo on her arm. He was one of ours.
Oh. Well, all right. Tell me
And
where
if
he
there's
is.
anything he hates in the world, it's Sheriff Hall.
When Ruth has finished conducting his business, we'll inform him. But turning to Triss and Rakel, this is a good lead, right?
Yes. What is our purpose in this town? What is our goal?
Well, for one, it's to look around and see if anyone knows if Six Spurs has been through here or where he's gone. And if anything, we could always ask the sheriff. Maybe he'd know. He's been in power long enough. And when I say
Now-
ask, I mean...
Right. We've been in a couple towns now where those in power have been needing an ousting. Is that this situation as well?
I mean, if that is what comes of our adventures here, then that is a happy coincidence.
Depending
Ah.
on how things go, he may bring the fight to you. He's been going crazy looking for you, kid.
Any reason why?
I don't know. And I was hoping you would know.
No idea.
He keeps on turning the place over. Over and over.
Does he say anything while he's doing this, or is it just a wanton rampage?
Mostly, where's that kid? We need to find that kid. Go get that kid.
I guess that's one way we can draw him out. We'll talk to Sparky and try and formulate something. Use me as a decoy or a lure, get the sheriff out in the open, and click-clack.
You really think you can take him on?
Never know till you try.
We should
Um,
know before we try.
I don't like the finding out part.
All right, well, you be careful. Dusty and his devils are still out there, too.
Hmm.
They're his new pets, you know?
Where's
Can they
Sparky?
be-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can they be turned? Does he pay them? What does he give them for them to follow him?
Mostly territory, right? That's how it worked?
Yes, ma'am. Free run of the town whenever the sheriff needs to look the other way.
So no, we don't want to leave them with any power. Perhaps a quiet assassination would be better. Who else would be put in charge?
Madam Black?
She's not the type to look for leadership outside of the bordello.
Oh, fuck. We gotta get word out about Glimmer, by the way.
What happened to Glimmer?
defenseless. You remember we took down Miss Sissy?
Right.
She was protecting the whole town, and now that she's gone, the protections are gone as well.
Oh. We got a classic lawman vacuum of power situation.
Yeah, and the longer they are without protection, the more damage gets done.
Hmm. That's really unfortunate.
Is there anyone in this land that we can trust besides this group?
If I'm being honest with you, I personally don't trust anybody outside of this building.
I don't trust any lawman as far as I can throw them, and I'm plenty strong.
Seems that the ways of this world are crumbling before us.
If they were ever built to begin with.
Makes me wonder why I'm still out here.
Miss Trina, Sparky, is he gonna come in tonight, or are we gonna need to find him?
Oh, you're gonna need to find him. Here, let me give you the address.
It's never easy.
We can cut ahead because I think that it's funnier this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless there was anything else that we wanted to resolve back at the bordello. Any conversations that were ongoing that needed more?
I mean, just where we at on time?
We are actually at the butt end of the episode.
Yeah, you want to do like 2 to 5 more minutes?
Sure. Because yeah, Ruth, I think with Madam Black, I think that he would ask like if she just wanted to share a cup of tea. Just
okay.
Like literally, like he is just looking to like have some time to talk to this person who
this
might
is something
know
that
things,
she seems fairly amenable to. She is a good conversationalist. She asks about you and where you're from and like that sort of thing.
Yeah, he'll tell her. He's from this side of the Palisades. Back in from a place that lost its name a long time ago, not for any lack of just people moving on. Had a family at one point, doesn't have a family anymore, and he's just been traveling with Kid, and he'll compliment her on a job well done. He seems he's been good.
She notedly does not talk about herself very much, and on the subject of Kid, she mentions that it was a group effort between the girls at the bordello and the Wayward Sons. Kid has is in the fortunate position of having many family members.
I think eventually the conversation would turn, and I think you would say, yeah, you've been around Serendipity? That Serendipity. You've been here for a while, yeah?
In a manner of speaking.
Were you close at all with Six Spurs?
I cannot say that I was. But I can say I have seen him.
Recently?
I don't believe so.
Does his disappearance have anything to do with that giant tornado? Seems to be watching over the town.
She sort of lifts the veil a little bit from her face, and the teacup disappears underneath it for a moment, and then is placed back on the table. What I can tell you is that the squall was not always here.
I appreciate it. You run a fine place of business. It's nice to see that you've kept your windows up. I don't know if it's because you have some semblance over the control of law or they're just really good windows, but I hate to see a beautiful thing go to waste in, well, the wilds. So, I know you don't take donations. And I apologize if I got off on the right foot. Or on the wrong foot, I suppose. But gold's never brought me anything but trouble. So if it pleased the lady, I would like to leave some here in the hopes that you'll either make more windows or use it for something better.
There is a visible sigh about her shoulders. Well, I have lived long enough to know that when an old man gets his mind set on something, he is not quick to set it aside.
Been stubborn for years, don't see a reason to change that now.
Do what you must.
And I think he will leave, he'll leave 30 gold pieces. That is for the tea. And then he will leave 50 gold pieces. And that's for your time. And he'll just stand up, tell her thank you, and he'll see his way out.
Gives him a little nod. Kid, you receive the address. You follow it there, keeping your head down, and find yourself standing in front of the pokey.
That can't be right.
You hear a harmonica within.
I think that's a great place to end.
And see. Incredible. Danae, thank you so much for running this game. This was a rootin' tootin' and dare I say occasionally shooting game. I loved it. Where can we find you? What do you do?
Well, hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. So you can go and find those things there at DanaeKeener.com.
Now, when Miss Trina said that this would be a pokey, I thought it'd be a fishbowl place, but no, it's jail. Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and you can catch me at RJustice282 on all the socials, where I'm doing a lot of things. There are some recordings happening in the background, some games being talked about. I'm in a play of A Midsummer's Night's Dream? That's weird. But yeah, check out my socials for whenever I inevitably retweet the things I'm in. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches. Nope, the Twitters and the Instagrams. On Twitch, I am Hack Recklessly, along with Ren and some other friends over there, where you can find us playing horror games on Friday, mystery games, party games on Thursday, and on Sunday, we are in a level 15 campaign called Playthings of the Gods, where they are about to go face my favoritely named character that I ever have, Chompy the Awakened. That's going to be happening in 2 weeks. But keep an eye out on the Hack Recklessly Spotify for a new Monster of the Week one shot that we've done. We recorded it yesterday, and it is a 80s romping good time with friend of the channel Lex and Jacob's Crow from the all of the things that Mr. Crow does. It's very wonderful. But keep an eye out for that in the next month. That's me, DanaeKeener.com.
Boy, I'm Cyber. I'm here. DanaeKeener.com.
And I'm the Indoor Adventurer. If you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we've played up until this point. RJ, you got a question?
What about the secret project that's happening next month?
Secret Project is happening next month, so I can't tell people when that's happening because we don't have a time established for it, but Secret Project is happening next month, and I'm very excited for it. Secret Project will include dear friends of the channel Wally, Christina Sid, Kylan, RJ, myself. It's going to be secret. It's going to be fun. Maybe you should stick around. Hit that follow button. We are now at 29 followers away from hitting 1,000 followers on the channel, which would be a wild number to get. So let's shoot for the stars, shall we? Let's believe in our dreams. That being said, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us again at patreon.com/Indoor Adventures. It is a grand time. But with that being said, we are going to be heading into that Patreon-supported after show. Thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to Danae for running this game. Thank you to these players for putting up with our bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all you acorns next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!